Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. A big welcome and hello to those of you who are joining us for the first time. So, if you watched the last video, then you'll notice I mentioned at least once in the YouTube and more than once in the extended that it was time for us to take a look at you a little bit more closely in this reading. And so, this is in the context of what it is that's going to ignite you and help to balance your energy. And that's something that we keep hearing about in these soulmate readings. So I think I may put this in the soulmate series of readings because that's where we keep receiving the message. But it's supposed to ignite you. It's supposed to help balance your energy. You know, this is relevant to the lessons from the experiences that you've had with your soulmate, but it is addressing that piece where we keep being told there is something that you are supposed to allow yourself to gravitate toward, that lights you up, that ignites your soul, is what we kept hearing. So, as always, we're going to jump into this. It's a general reading. It's for all signs, but we know it's not going to be for all people. So, it won't necessarily resonate with everyone, and it shouldn't. This is going to be for folks who make up this collective, and this collective is growing in number, but the patterns are just becoming more ingrained as we get in there. So, if this feels like it's your reading, you may want to check out some of the others and you may even want to subscribe. So let's go ahead and jump in, and we're going to dig right in to see what it is that you should be looking for in this energy right now and what it is that you should be looking for in yourself. Okay, and so interesting. Investment, Seven of Earth. This is it's an opportunity to invest. So the Seven of Earth is a card of investment. It's like that Seven of Pentacles. It's a card of investment, but it's a situation where you plant seeds and then later you're able to reap the harvest. And so this is looking for an opportunity for you to be able to plant seeds that are going to be later harvested to give you what you're looking for. So you can't really jump into a situation and really start investing until the opportunity arises before you. But that's where we've heard it was. We've heard that this opportunity is likely to be found right in front of you. Let's see. And what else have we heard? You may not be seeing it as an opportunity right now. It's not likely to be a person. It could be a person. I can't rule that out. It could be an opportunity around this family member or a friend. It doesn't feel like it's another romantic interest. So you may have, as we saw previously, another romantic interest headed your way, but this is something different. This could be a new hobby, new job, new business. If you've been thinking about starting a business, it's something for you to really sink your teeth into. And here we see it's something really um, to invest in. So these cards are wanting to be shuffled, but they are not necessarily wanting to talk, or at least they weren't. All right, so we've got the Shah of Coins. This is like the King of Coins. Here's a situation that you are well suited for. Whatever this is, it may not be obvious, but you are well suited for it, and you'll be able to see that even if it's not something that obviously seems like you should jump into it. So it's something that it's an opportunity for you to invest in yourself, and it's something that you're well suited for. You feel like you're kind of deserving of it. So this is like the world card in the traditional tarot, the Dunya card. And this one is about something that it has that sense of something that's not yet over, but the way that it feels in this context, it's much more, here's something you've been thinking about, but that hasn't ever had the opportunity to manifest. So if you've been thinking about doing something, and that is a message that we've seen in some of the previous readings, it may be something that is kind of in front of you, and maybe you always wanted to do it, but it's not necessarily something that is easy to do. All right, and so here the volley card is a lot like This is the chariot in the traditional tarot. So if you look at it, it's the two horses that are transporting you. This is really, those are your it's duality. It represents duality, but this is your own energy that's transporting you forward into this. And here, though, we see a reluctance to go that way. So not only might this be something that you aren't registering as an opportunity, it may also be something that you would have some resistance to in as the concept of an opportunity. And so, like I did in that previous reading, I'll use myself as an example. Like I was saying, I have a fairly data driven sort of day job. If you were to look at that, and if we were to talk in that context, you'd be able to see the reader in me. But it's not necessarily something that I thought that I would do more broadly. I thought it was something that was more of just kind of a personal endeavor, maybe on a smaller scale. But now I find myself feeling like I need to bring it to everyone. And so there's something that I actually had to get out of my own way in order to allow that to happen. Here is that same kind of energy. There may be something here that kind of wants to hold you back and has you standing in your own way. So, if your experience could be anything like mine, I would just say, by all means, jump right in. It is definitely given me its share of questions, complexities, things like that. But the reward, as far as knowing that there are people out there that are healing and feeling better as a result of these messages that I feel compelled to give you, is by all means. It's the reason I put out a thank you video every month, and for those of you who don't know, I do a thank you video once a month, usually near the end of the month, and it'll be a reading plus an extended all in one video. So you don't have to click over to Vimeo to get that. Anyway, look for it to be something exciting like that, but it is also something that develops you and helps you change into a different sort of person, a different sort of experience. So this is the equivalent of that Empress card, and it has that heavy Empress energy in it. But it has you also, you have to uncover this almost, because this is the Ace of Swords. It's in reverse, and it's telling us there's a situation here where you are basically aware. It's kind of like what we're seeing with this resistance, and to a certain degree with this piece, that it isn't over. So there's something about this that applies to you, but for whatever reason, it has not been allowed to move forward in the past so far. So we're going to dig a little bit more deeply into this, and this is fascinating. Looking at what it is that you need to know and what you need to be looking for. To tell you that you're looking for something that's right in front of you is one thing, but to say you're going to feel a little bit of resistance to it, um, that's a whole different type of message, and I have a lot of respect for that. So the Seven of Staffs, you may not feel like it's going to be a huge success, whatever this is, but I think what you're going to find is that it's going to be a greater success than you anticipate, but also that you are protected as you move forwards. There's something about this that either you don't have to do, or you have a safety net, and that safety net could really just be the protection that you have from your own higher self and your own spirit and your spirit guides. However, it's difficult to say because it feels like it's not going to be the same for everyone. Everyone is, however, protected as you're moving forward into that new possible path. Um, Okay, it requires you to be connected with your spirit guides and here we go. All right, and this is where it ends. I had this feeling we didn't want that many more cards, not as many as turned over. So these are the ones that have that glow to them, and I'm going to talk about them in the order that they came out. So we were talking about that connection with the spirit guides and the fact that you're getting some of the protection from there, but you need to plug into that. If at all possible, go ahead and plug into that and lean into this tower energy. This is the energy of something that is breaking down, but just remember, it's breaking down so that you can use these pieces to build something new. That's one of the beautiful things about this tower energy. So you have this high priestess, Murshida energy, and then you have this Minar, the tower, that feels like it's coming down. It's not necessarily, you'll hear people talk sometimes about good towers and bad towers. Here's one that's not necessarily good or bad, but it may feel especially good to you if you're able to truly plug in and allow that to be the case. So that's what you're looking for. That's exciting. This is something that you're going to be well suited to it, and you kind of know that. You know that about it. It's just an opportunity to invest. And I feel like that opportunity gets renewed, but you have to give yourself over to it and step out of your own way, which, in my experience, has been much harder than it sounds. It sounds like, oh, this should be obvious. What have you got to lose? There's all these positive things. That's not really how it feels when you get on top of it. When you're on top of it, all of a sudden, all the fears come out, possibilities, things like that. You've got to let that. You got to go ahead and let that go and accept the fact that you are well suited for it, and it's a good path for you to try out, even if this isn't something that really catapults you into wherever it is that you wish you want to be in this life. It's still something that helps to get you there, and it's going to really create, with this Empress energy, a lot of development. Not only are you ready for it now, but you also are. You're going to be ready for so much more after this happens. So let's see what else it is that you need to know about this or about finding it. So I think we got a lot of great information here as far as in the energy that you're looking for, the energy that you should be looking for in yourself, in this effort. But now let's see what else it is that you need to know about it and what else you need to know about the search. So we've got the 10 of wind. Okay, so it will hmm, it will automatically bear you away from pain. So you've got some pain that is plaguing you, and this may even be in some ways a little bit tied to it. Whatever this is, maybe a little bit tied to it, a little bit related to it, but not necessarily in a bad way. So if you're getting over a difficult emotional situation, perhaps this is something that helps to make you feel better. Maybe it makes you feel better to write some things down, and it turns out you need to write a book. That's going to be a message for somebody. For me, it was I'd pull a card once in a while to see how I wanted to meditate, to think through what was happening with my own journey, and it turned into a lot more. As you see today, this is not at all what I anticipated, but you got to get out of your own way, and you got to see what it is that's going to help to ease your pain. Because what this does, this effort, it helps to redirect your energy away from being so hyper focused on what's happening with you and your person. And it does it by, it's an artful way. It's going to help pull you away from your pain, but it feels almost like it's in a graceful way. So this tower that happens over here is welcome. It's welcome. It's positive. It's something where you really have a lot of opportunity to use what comes out of that as building blocks towards something new. This is nothing but up. So all of those situations where maybe you've been feeling like you were going, one step forward and two steps back, this is not that. This is something that basically, even the steps back are steps forward in one way or another. What an interesting and fascinating sort of direction you're being encouraged to go in. So it doesn't really change. It's like that Five of Cups that we see in reverse. It doesn't necessarily change your perspective on things. It doesn't make you forget about the things that happened that are unhappy. It simply gives you that broader perspective and makes it so that you are more prepared to work with it. And as if to complement this 10 of wind that's in reverse. So this is like 10 of swords. In reverse, it's pain going away. This is something that helps your pain go away. This is something that helps to unbreak your heart. So the three of swords in the upright is pain, it's sorrow, it's a broken heart. Here in the reverse, though, it's very much that falling away from you. And I got the same sort of impression with the pain. With the 10 of wind, but not exactly the same. So instead of it falling away, it's something that is almost removed for you as a result of it. Here we have, oh my goodness, you guys. Here we have the 10 of swords in reverse again. That same exact card, but out of a different deck. And so we have three things that are saying here What you need to know about this is it's going to help to kind of bleed your passion away from you. It's going to help to unbreak your heart. It's going to help you actively remove some of that pain. There's communication involved here that helps to heal you, not necessarily from your person. This is as a result of this effort, which to me feels like it is separate from your person, but you do have to give yourself over to it. This Two of Coins talks about, with it being in reverse like this, it talks about not having a balance. So as you come into this, the fact that you are maybe missing some of that balance that you're ultimately seeking to have, when you start to be able to pull your energy away from focusing so heavily on this situation that's got you down, it's like all of a sudden you figure out all the amazing things that you are capable of because you have a lot of energy flowing. You just you don't have it all directed necessarily in a way that is always helping you. So there's going to be a feeling of imbalance. There's going to be a feeling of not quite being sure how to move forward with this. And that is where you are encouraged to lean into this. You're encouraged to enjoy this tower coming down because it's going to end up being something that has limited you. And we've got this Eight of Cups also that has come out, which talks about a little bit of a quest. So this card came out sideways, and I feel like it needs to be left sideways. But really, what I think we're seeing there is not just that the Eight of Cups is about this quest, this place where you're going after something you truly want. But what you truly want, I keep seeing coming out, and I keep telling you, you got to go figure out what it is that you truly want. You've got to go truly characterize that. Yeah, it's going to change. It's going to change as a result of this experience that you're having here. But that's okay because that's just growth. That's part of that development that we see, that's going to be coming with the rest of this. I want to say event, but it's not really an event. If you're starting a business or if you're jumping into something new as far as a job or a hobby, there is maybe an event that precipitates that. There's certainly a tower event that happens somewhere in the process, but not necessarily at the beginning. But those are part of this overall process. You have to look at kind of the big picture, of the process. I don't know how many more cards we want here. Okay, but we definitely want this one. So this is the Nine of Staffs. The healing here is palpable. This has everything to do with you no longer guarding walls that don't truly need to be guarded. We do want another card. Okay. Let's see here. It is the Alchemist. Okay, so this is like the Magician card. Um, and so this one is, I guess, the way this fits in here is how capable of it you're going to be. Because there's going to be a lot here that you maybe feel like you're resistant to it. You don't necessarily feel like you're protected. But once you give yourself over to it, you're going to find that it just flows from you. So if you're writing that book, if you're starting that business or that job, you're going to find that it just comes to you and you're going to be prepared. This is an element of that Empress energy that is particularly attractive. Malika of Coins is all about having the self worth, knowing your worth, and having also the ability to give that energy back. And that give and take of energy, and that's the last card we want there. That give and take of energy is going to be something that comes from this, and it comes almost naturally from this. But the thing is, you're going to see it as it's happening. So that's been a place that we've been focusing in the month of March, the give and take of energy. It's been something that wasn't necessarily equal when you had this situation with your person that has put you into this Ten of Swords type of situation, this very painful, difficult situation. So here's something that you can look for to help to bring you out of it, to unbreak your heart. We see the repeated message of the pain coming away. Your desires will be redefined, and the healing is just amazing with you no longer guarding things that don't need to be guarded and truly feeling like not only the master or the mistress of your own fate, but feeling like this flows from you. It's something that just automatically starts to happen, and you feel like you're very at home here. Again, something else that I can vouch for, and it's one of those things that I highly encourage you to jump into. Who knows how long it lasts, but it's the most amazing thing. So let's see what you could be focused on doing right now. And this is kind of that practical advice that we're looking for, I like to get for you. Um, and we're going to take this into the extended and see what else we can learn really about what you can be looking for in that energy. Um, and of course, what else we need to know about it. So we've got energy moving relatively quickly. You have a unique talent. It's not necessarily super unique, but in your case, it comes out in a unique way. You have this ability to roll with the punches, to roll with things that are happening in your situation so well. Um, you might want to investigate your ability to roll without all of that. So we've been looking at that, and has it's been coming out as a matter of how do you how do you get comfortable in a situation that is distinctly uncomfortable? And it feels like you have gotten to a place where you're quite good at that. So you'll have to also get to a place where things completely stop. Things come to a complete stop, and you have to be able to be okay with it. There is certainly an element of releasing attachments here, and that's attachments to outcomes too. So it's like I keep seeing in these messages, it's coming up. It's you're getting to a place where what's coming in your future doesn't matter so much. So you can go and you can watch readings from whomever you like, and you can maybe see some future energy that's coming your direction, but that's not necessarily why you're here. It's more a matter of you're along for the ride and you're ready to be in the right now, and just kind of trusting that things are going to be moving the way that they need to be moving. That is a place of trust in yourself, in your higher power. And it's something that a lot of people aspire to and would like to be, but it's a tough place to be because it's really, when we're trying to understand what's happening in our future, it's a way for us to have a little bit of control over our actions. And so, to a certain degree, it's nice to know what's coming because that way you can make adjustments um, as you're approaching. But you also want to get comfortable in that situation where maybe you don't know what's coming. Okay, so we've got a couple of things here. We have a time of quietude and almost an antisocial sort of feeling. So this is a Three of Cups in reverse. It's not a bad time. Sometimes the Three of Cups is having a bad time. Sometimes it's not getting together. This is more just not getting together. So it's not necessarily a bad time. It's just emotional quietude and being okay with sitting by yourself for a little while and just kind of being with all of this, and there will be a stream of energy flowing around you, but you'll just be able to be quiet in that. You can use your meditation to truly get to this place, and the beautiful thing about it is you will unlock this alchemist energy in yourself, this manifestation energy within yourself, because it's a connection with your higher power and your higher self that is allowing you to unlock this manifestation, because you're co-creating with the universe here when you get to this sort of energy. But it means that you can, when you figure out what it is that you want, and even as that changes and you want to move towards something new, your ability to do that greatly improves. And it has a lot to do with you being able to let go of the need to control what's coming, what you're planning to do about what's coming, and to just be able to execute when it feels like the time comes. So, this is not an easy thing to do. You're going to have to, in order to access some of this, you're going to have to go back into the pain. So, what happens is you start to feel a little bit better about things. This effort is going to start to bring about some development in you, like we see over here, but it's also going to be this period of imbalance. And so, even though you're operating generally with pain falling away from you and decreasing over time, there is this sense of imbalance that is going to allow you to be triggered in some old ways. You got to allow that to happen so that you can find the edges of what you need to work through and work through that. That's the only card that we want there. I thought for sure. Sometimes it's just the top one. Sometimes it's like seven. You never know. I just go until the glow stops, or until I feel like, okay, that card is dead to this reading. And I don't mean that like in a bad way. It's just not. supposed to be out there. And sometimes I'll get those honorable mentions. So if you watch, sometimes you'll see I don't put it in the reading, but I'm like, okay, but this one did want to be mentioned. It's like a minor glow. But we've got the Five of Cups talking about here, you're going to be triggered again, but it's not going to be like it was before. You're not completely open and new to this. You have some learning. You're going to be able to say, I recognize that. That things are not necessarily equal. What I'm concerned about is an emotional issue, but it is not something that necessarily I was treated the right way. And so maybe you start to make different decisions. You're no longer guarding certain walls. You're able to say, hold on, success looks different to me now. My happiness in this looks different to me now. I'm going to look for something different. I'm going to be prepared for something different. And that's when you open yourself up, give yourself over to it, into this pain as well. And all of a sudden, you're able to let go. So there is some energy that started to come out a little over a week ago with that full moon. And it is palpable, but it has been tough. With it has come and some of that. Depression, we've talked about that a little bit, and this has a lot to do with new triggering, new opening things up, and it's not really all that new. It's figuring out where in yourself that you are not feeling trusting. So with this Seven of Swords, it talks about that feeling of not necessarily trusting, but it's up against this feeling in the Four of Coins of letting go. So you're making significant progress. Just be prepared. It's not all the progress at the same time. So you are, if you are in this, oh, it's a crazy sort of thing because the energy's flowing really quickly, but you are sitting there kind of, you're calm in it, but you're also feeling this sadness that has come back to you because you started letting go, because you started unclenching. Hang in there. Find the root of it. It's that Seven of Swords root. Oh, we're going to get into every one of these questions more deeply in the extended because just as I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is great information, but man, we got to get in a little bit deeper. I like to keep my readings on here, to 25 or 30 minutes just so that people have time to do it in between other things, maybe on a commute or something like that. But we're getting in deeper, and those readings are typically not less than 30 minutes. So we'll try to keep those at a reasonable time too. But I don't hold back. I do. I don't hold back as much. I allow more to come out. So here though, okay. So you've got this card of investment coming out in reverse. Actively, what you can be doing right now is looking for where are those places where you're spending too much energy on something that doesn't necessarily fix things for you. This is something that just needs a little tweak. It's a team that doesn't play well together. It's a set of circumstances or a set of rules that just one thing needs to be changed to put them in harmony and make them very powerful, all going in the same direction. So look for that. Look for places where you need to make a small tweak to allow everything to flow. Also, look for places where you are disinclined to make the sort of investment that you know you probably need to make. Is it a workout you need to do more often? Is it, there are so many different ways that this could look. Is it a resume you need to put in? Because this is all about putting in an investment. And honestly, this investment is anywhere but in a romantic situation. This is in other people. It is a hobby. It's a business. I am fired up and I have the goosebumps and I don't know if you can really see them, but this is the sort of thing this is that energy that makes you want to jump off the cliff and jump into the fool's journey. This is so exciting. So this is an honorable mention. It doesn't want to be part of the reading, but this is that success. This is that Six of Staffs. This is that happy success that is at the end of a long battle. But the thing is, this isn't the end of a long battle. This is you just jumping in and getting scrappy. This is you saying, all right, so I'm using something that is relevant to my pain, something that maybe brings me out of it. It helps me to write. So I'm going to write a book. That sort of energy. And then it's saying, here are the things. You may be a little resistant to it. You're fully prepared to do it. Let it happen. Give yourself over to it. Look for a situation that if you're in this place where you're kind of struggling with the sadness and that feeling that you've let go, and even that seems extra sad, okay, this is prime time for you to sit down, do the prayer and the meditation, silence your mind and get to that place where you can allow that energy to go past you, but you're still just the core of you, and you're able to take this energy and invest in yourself. That's the message that really wants to come out here. So I am going to take every one of these into the extended reading, but this is exciting. It's a beautiful energy. We're going to start here. I'll see you in the extended. And if I don't see you in the extended, then I will see you in the next reading.